Hi, I'm Irfan Khan, and I'm going to play the role of HR administrator. The HR administrator role wears many hats. They go from payroll, they go from time and labor, they go to HR, but we at Oracle have worked very hard to create differentiators to make the HR administrator role much easier. So today's HR administrator needs to be agile to respond to the changing needs of the organization. With the business landscape constantly evolving, HR administrators need to focus on changing the solution to meet the business needs, review any HR cases, as well as ensure any risk mitigation and security controls. As Curtis begins his day, he needs to ensure his HR business processes are configured to the demands of the organization. Curtis creates a new promotion rule for Great Britain and makes salary a required field. So let's go in. So as the HR administrator, I'm going to spend my time in my client groups. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a business rule because we have to go in and make some updates. As the HR administrator, Curtis Fetty is going to go into his HCM Experience Design Studio. So I'm going to go into my client groups, and right here is the HCM Experience Design Studio. I'm going to go into here and I'm going to create a new rule. But as you can see, I could create a rule against any transaction. But we're going to add a new rule for promotion. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give it a name, promote in Great Britain, description, promotion in Great Britain. And I'm going to pick the localization of Great Britain because in Great Britain, we're going to make salary required. So if I go down here, I just simply pick the salary field right here, not required, to required. And hit save and close. So very quickly and easily, I come in here and I make salary required field for anybody in the Great Britain localization. But what I also want to do is I want to put a rule in for promotion so that anybody that's doing a promotion, they don't do it current date plus 30 days, they do it for future payroll start date. So we're going to go into the autocomplete rules and we're going to make that edit. But as you can see, we can make rules against any transactions as well. But let's go in to the one that says promote manager future date. We're going to make the edit, and under function, I'm going to simply go in here, change this to future payroll start date, and hit save and close. So very easily and quickly, I made the update and changes that now will get applied into the solution. But Curtis also wants to add a HR representative as part of the approval workflow. So he's going to come into his transaction manager. As you can see, he has access to all the approval workflow in the solution. But he's going to focus in on promotion. And we're going to come in here and edit the promotion workflow, approval workflow. And we're going to simply add the HR person in the top flow. As you can see, Curtis could have multiple rules across the promotion workflow, but he's simply going to go ahead and he wants to add the HR representative as part of this workflow. He's going to come in here, click, drag, and drop right into that flow. And now Curtis has added the HR representative into the approval workflow. And now he wants to submit the workflow, and now the workflow has been updated. So Curtis also has the ability to check the health of his organization he's supporting. He has access to information right at his fingertips, and he could easily and quickly go right into his HR dashboards. So from my reporting, simply goes into his HR dashboards, and he has access to a lot of rich information that's visualized right in front of him. So very easily, I come in as Curtis and I could see that what my headcount is, what my FTE is, how many part-timers versus contingent workers, where the headcount breakout is in the world, as well as some diversity and inclusion information around employee gender, ethnicity, so forth. I could see all that information front and center, as well as how many people have been leaving over the past 24 months, reasons for leaving, and then again, how many males, females, gender we've promoted, as well as HR transactions, and then any type of budgets around positions and actuals. But the other nice thing that Curtis has is the ability to drill into the analytics to get the details. So from this overall number, he could drill in and find out who those people are. He also has access to a lot of other informations, such as absence information. So how many people in the organization are taking absences, how many hours of leave durations there are, what's the reasons for going on absences, who are some of those people that are absence offenders with the most absences, and then additional further analysis around which departments have the most absences and so forth. In addition, really easily, Curtis could go in and also look at those accrual balances. So what are the total liabilities around accrual balances we have in my organization? How much is getting carried over? How much have been taken? As well as I could scroll down and see, as Curtis, how many days are remaining, taken, any type of graphs and charts and year-over-year information that gives that very detailed information around these accruals. And then diving into the details. So who are those people? What exactly do they have? And then visually notifying me if there's any variances for issues that I need to take action on. And then finally, he also has the ability to go in and look at the skills that roll up to his organization so that he could understand if there's any skills that he needs to be aware of to help promote or encourage or develop people in the organization. So very easily, Curtis could go into his skills dashboard and see all the people that have all the different skills in the organization. But what he could also do is take a breakdown of those skills, and the breakdown can be viewed by age band, by department, by job. But what he wants to do is look at a specific skill set of management skill, and he could see very easily and quickly that the grouping of 50 and older are in the expert and advanced rating, proficiency rating. So he knows that if those group leads, he needs to train the younger group in order to be proficient as quickly as possible. So he could go in and create a development plan for those groups of people so that they are proficient in that skill set. In addition, he has access to all the detail. So he could go in and see who those individuals are and what those skill sets they have. So very quickly and easily, Curtis can go into his HR dashboards and look at the health of his organization that he supports, all at his fingertips. Curtis is concerned about all the HR-related cases and responses coming into the HR Service Center. So he reviews all the service requests to make sure service level agreements are being met. So he's going to go into the HR service requests, where he will be able to see a dashboard of all the cases that are coming into the service center. And he could see the severity of it, he could see what those cases are, who the primary contacts are, and the progress. So he's going to go into the missing paycheck information case, where he could get all the information about this case. So he could see the summary of the information, he could see the primary contact, the progress. But in addition to all that, he could also see if there are any additional contacts in this case. He could see if there's any action plans in this case. So are there any things that we need to do as part of this case, any steps in order to resolve this case? Any milestones around meeting those service level agreements. And as you can see here that we are behind in that. And we could also see the audit history. So throughout the solution, we have audit across the solution. You can see who did what anywhere in the solution, what the old value is, what the new value is, when it occurred, and the time. But we know that we're a week behind and we want to respond to this case. So I'm going to go ahead and go into message and I'm going to compose a response. So when I click on respond, I'm going to go ahead and insert a response. But what I want to do is have the knowledge base recommend the response I should create in this case. So I simply open up the slider, and now knowledge management is recommending to me what document I should add to this. So in this one, it's the questions about the payslip. So I'm going to go ahead and hit link, and I'm going to insert it into the response. And I'll be able to now preview the response that's going to go to the employee. So I could see right here really quickly, this is going to be the response to the employee. I hit done. and now the employee is going to receive that response. So he gets a notification, which is indicated by the bell. Curtis is going to go up here and look at all the notifications. What he notices is that he has a notification around reviewing and improving employee access. So he's going to take a look at that notification. He notices that the employee is a new hire and is getting these new roles. Well, he wants to ensure that the organization is complying to GDPR rules, so he wants to ensure that the appropriate roles are getting applied to this employee. So he notices that they are appropriate. He's going to go ahead and approve this. So he hits approve, and now that employee has access to those roles. He's going to go into his advanced controls area, where he could see if there's any new notifications that are occurring. So right here, he could see if there's any new notifications. But Curtis is more concerned about the model of managed time and labor and payroll roles. So he's going to go into the model itself. So he sees right here that there's the managed time and labor and payroll model. He's going to go ahead and go into that model and look at the rules of the model. So Curtis is in the model now, and he could see that he's going to look at managed time and labor role as well as managed payroll role. But he wants to see what privileges are being looked at in this model. So he's going to click on more detail, and he's going to go into the access points. He could see very quickly that these are the privileges that are going to be part of this model. So he wants to see what the results of the model are. So he's going to click on View Existing Results to see who are those individuals that are meeting this model. So here he sees a list of people that have been identified by the Advanced HCM control, specifically the model that we were just looking at. Curtis is going to focus in on Brian Joseph. So he's going to go ahead and filter on Brian Joseph. So he's going to highlight 3 roles. He's going to click on the Visualize button. Here he could see the roles that were highlighted. Now he wants to get a better picture, so he's going to change the view and change it to flow mode. And now he could zoom in and he could see that there are 2 duties that Brian has. And he could see that there is a segregation of duty conflict. He has both the payroll role as well as the managed time and labor role, which gives him full access to both. So now he could go in and make any edits to these roles so that Brian doesn't have both roles. He has access to information at his fingertips. He could go look at his dashboard of information around advanced HCM controls. He could see very quickly he has information right front and center. Access certification status, access incidences that are closed, pending incidences. So very quickly and easily he could see the information around what is occurring in his advanced HCM controls solution. As you can see, it's very easy for the HR administrator to change a business rule, look at HR cases, respond very quickly, have the system help with that response, and ensure that the organization is meeting their GDPR and compliance rules. What you've seen today is the power of our complete Oracle HCM Cloud solution that is built for the future with capabilities such as unified experience, digital assistant, and conversational user interface. To learn more, please visit us at oracle.com/HCM. Oracle is bringing you the power of tomorrow today.